Rewind about 4 months ago when I was talking to a guy in my school community in the DMs, and I'm not gonna say who it was because he's probably gonna watch this video, but he said he was working on launching his business, which is great. That's what we do in there, so no big surprise. And I said, "What are you working on specifically?" And this guy's idea was he had this longish career in HR. He'd been doing a lot of HR, so he was gonna offer HR consulting services to other businesses. He was gonna help them save money on employee search or employee churn. Basically, he's going to help other businesses save money. And the rest of what he was doing isn't that important unless you're really into HR or something, which would be weird of you if you were. But I said, great, this will work. This will work. This is a good idea. I know this will work because I've seen it work. It does exactly what I teach, which is make or save businesses money. And if you can do that, then you yourself have a business. So great job. So I said, what specifically are you working on with this business? What are you doing? And this guy, bless his heart, listed out a laundry list of crap that cumulatively, if you added up the value of all the things that he was doing at this certain stage in his business, in other words, before he had made a single dollar, the cumulative value of all of this stuff would be negative dollars, probably negative thousands of dollars, because all of it was costing him precious time, and none of it was ever going to make him any money, not a single red penny at this current stage in his business. And I'm about to tell you what all those things were and what he was doing, because this is the single most common mistake or set of mistakes that I see people making. And everybody does this stuff. It's like a plague. It's so common. So I'm going to say what he was doing wrong. I'm going to tell you what I told him that he should be doing instead. And then I'm going to give you an update on where he's at now, because I just checked in with him because I made this video because I was curious. So when I asked this guy what he's working on, he starts proudly listing out all of this stuff. He felt really good about himself because he thought he was being really busy and smart and effective on his business. And so this is what he said he was doing. He was tinkering on his website. He was more like that, like these Michelangelo. His website was just had to be so perfect that he was working on it for Lord knows how long. He was working on his brand. He was doing his brand, getting his brand right. His vision for his new company that currently made $0. He was creating systems for scale, like he was actually recording Loom videos of future standard operating procedures for how he was going to train his employees that he was going to apparently pay with the $0 that this company was making. He was creating a content marketing plan, and it wasn't not the actual content, mind you, but a plan. He was making a plan, a schedule, if you're one of our British friends. So he had that, a solid schedule for his zero revenue business. He was doing a lot of reading. He told me he was reading books. He listed some of the books out and said how they were going to help him make more than the $0 he was currently making. He was building social media profiles on LinkedIn and Instagram. He was getting those ready, getting them nice and ready for all that non-existent traffic that he had for his non-existent business. And thing after thing that this guy listed out that he told me he was quote unquote working on, or one after the other, were all a complete waste of time. Every single one. So I asked him a simple question. I said, have you actually tried to sell this yet? Have you actually gone out and tried to sell it yet? And he said, "Oh, no, I'm not. I'm imagining his inflections because this was a DM conversation, but this is what I imagine him saying it like. He's like, nah, I'm not there. I'm not at that point yet. I'm still trying to lay the foundations. I'm not really ready to take on revenue yet because all of the building blocks aren't there. Yada freaking yada. And I try to be nice when I'm talking to people like this, especially if they're in my community. Even though the community was free back then, the Simple Business School, and now you can join in. It has a small fee, so I try to be even nicer now to the people that are in there. But I said, can I give you a little bit of unsolicited free advice? And he said, sure. And I said, stop all of that stuff that you just listed off. Stop all of it. Every single thing you just told me, stop it right now. Stop it today and do this instead. Here's what you need to do instead. I said, make a list of 50 businesses. This is going to be you if you do what I say. This is going to be you. You're going to be that guy just walking around with a big bag of money. Make a list of 50 businesses who you think you could help with your skills. You look at their website, you look at their LinkedIn page, you're like, I know I could help these people. And then message them. All of them. Today. I don't care how you message them. You can email them, you can DM them, you can send them a fruit basket in the mail for all I care. And when you message them, what you're going to do is you're going to offer them a free service that you know will help them save money. And this guy, he'd been in the HR game for a long time. He knows what services he could offer that would save these businesses money. He knows that better than me. So I said, tell him that. Tell him that and emphasize that you're going to do it for free. You're going to do it for free and that there's no catch. You're just starting out. That's why you're willing to do this for them. And then you, Mr. Business Owner, don't do anything else until you've gotten of those 50 people, 3 or 4 of them to say yes, and you've delivered that service to them. That's it. And it won't take long. It won't take long. Maybe a few weeks to do that. Maybe a couple months tops to do it the way I'm saying. And then after you deliver that free service, get testimonials from them talking about how glad they are that you did this, and ask them how much would they expect to charge for a service like this? How much would they expect him to charge for a service like this? And then ask them if they can refer you to anybody else so that you can go out and charge that amount. That's it. And then again, it's going to be you. You're just the guy walking around now that people want to give big boxes of money to because you did the right stuff. You did the right stuff. And then you ask them, after you've had this conversation, you can ask them if they'll consider keeping you on as a consultant at a reasonable fee. You can continue to deliver those types of outcomes for them. And by the way, this is such a common issue that people have, this overthinking, overanalyzing, doing all the wrong stuff at the beginning, aside from actually just going out and freaking trying to sell your thing. That is so common that I made a free training on how to do this the right way. So if you're selling a skill from your 9-to-5 career as a service-based business, if you're using your 9-to-5 to escape your 9-to-5, go click in the description. It's right there, and it'll get you inside the free training. So what should this guy be doing? Again, to recap, the stuff he was doing is the wrong stuff. No website. He doesn't need to be working on his website. He doesn't need to be working on vision boards or SOPs. He doesn't need to be building out for scale. He doesn't need to be doing content scheduling. He doesn't need to be doing any of that. He's solving problems that don't exist. And that's what people ultimately get wrong, and that winds up costing them months and months, sometimes even years, because they're solving problems that exist completely in their heads. Like, well, what if this goes wrong and I need to build out this thing? Or, well, what if somebody wants a certain feature? I got to make sure I understand how to build and deliver that feature. You don't know what problems you're going to have yet because you haven't talked to a single person in your market. That's your problem. You don't have a scale problem. You have a revenue problem. You have a problem that nobody has agreed to pay you for what you want to do. So you don't have a business. So what you need to be doing is going out and having real conversations with real people in your market, and you figure out what specific problems they have that they would pay real cash money for you, specifically you, with your life skills and your life experience to solve. And that's it. Anything that you are doing right now today that doesn't involve actively talking to people in your market and offering to solve their problems, anything that you're doing that isn't that is a waste of time. There is not a single solitary other thing that you should be doing aside from having conversations and asking people if they'll try your thing. That's it. So I said all that to him in a friendlier way. I didn't use that many words either. But you get the idea. I said, dude, stop doing that stuff and just go take these simple steps. Do that. And the guy says, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, right. Yeah, I'll get on that. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. 4 months ago. I'll do that tomorrow. Famous last words. So this was 120 plus days ago that we had this conversation. And I knew I was going to make this video. So I went and messaged this guy back a couple of days ago. I said, hey, man, hadn't heard from you. How did that outreach go? What's the status? What's the status of the business? And you probably already know what he said because you're probably seeing a lot of yourself in this story. If you've been thinking and tinkering for a while about your precious business that has no customers and no clients because you hadn't actually talked to anybody about it. So he says, oh man, yeah. Yeah, I hadn't gotten to that yet. Yeah, I've just been really busy. Time's gone on. I hadn't gone and actually talked to the people. 4 months. 4 months later, and not a single dollar made in this guy's business. And not only had he made $0, but he had 0 conversations that could have even potentially led to him making $1. He'd done nothing. I told him exactly what to do, and he didn't do it. And 4 months had gone by and he had nothing to show for it but a website and some SOPs. A perfect Michelangelo website. I doubt it would. Here's the problem. The website can't even be perfect if you don't know what people want. And you don't know what people want if you haven't talked to them. So you're sitting here being precious about your website, making it the Sistine Chapel of WordPress pages, but you don't even know what people want to buy. And time clicks by, time clicks on, and you're like this guy praying to your vision board that somebody will eventually just magically show up on your door and buy your business, but you aren't doing the actual things you need to do to sell it. So it's sad, really. It's sad that this happens. It happens to so many people. This guy's not the worst case, I'm being intentionally provocative with my language. I don't mean to be offensive, but it just makes me so frustrated because I know if people did the right things, the right actions at the beginning, we would have so many more successful entrepreneurs in this world. But the biggest problem that people have is they waste time on the wrong things, the things that don't matter. They're thinking about building a business, tinkering with their business without ever having a single conversation with a potential customer or a client. And it's not going to work that way. It just doesn't work that way. At the beginning, you have to talk to the people that you serve. This is that guy's business. After 4 months, a big old empty cobweb piggy bank, that you have to be talking to the people that you serve. You have to understand their problems. And in those same conversations, when you hear a problem that you know that you can solve for them, you can offer to solve it. You can do market research and sell your thing at the exact same time. You can offer to solve it for free. Or you could say, if I solve it and you get a result, I'll take a certain fee. It doesn't matter. You can do it multiple different ways, but you have to be having the conversations in the first place. You have to be having the requisite conversations to understand exactly what these people want and need and where your skill set fits in with that. Say, if I could ask them what their problems are and say, hey, if I solved it for you, is there a price you would pay if that problem went away and you got this outcome that would be really valuable to you? Is there a price that you would pay that would be a no-brainer? Just listen to it and let them say a number. Say, okay, I'll do it for that. Let's try it. What do you think? That's all you have to do. No websites, no SOPs, no content scheduling, no going and testing out 1,000 different SaaS tools that you may or may not ever need. You got 20 free trials on your SaaS tools when you don't even know if you're going to need them, but you're just tinkering. So, this might be good for my business that doesn't exist. You have to be having these conversations, and every single other thing that you do is a complete and 100% waste of your precious time and the finite number of breaths that you have left to draw on this planet. If you're not having these conversations, everything else is a waste. Stop overthinking it. Stop overanalyzing it. Stop it. Just stop. I know you're doing it. If you're still watching, by God, I know you're doing it. So stop it. Go out and talk to people and ask them if they'll try your thing. That's how you start. That's how you start. Okay. That's the end of my rant. Look, this is what I got. So subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Hit like, leave me a comment. And if you want to be like these happy people, these are not real customers. This is an artificial generated image, if you can't tell. But I've got a free training explaining exactly how to do all this stuff. It's at the link in the description. Click that link, and it comes with a community. You'll be right there. You can talk to me, chat with me, and you can get the free training. It tells you exactly how to do this stuff. So do that. Click that, and I'll see you inside the training. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you soon.